Hi, my name's Bryce. Welcome to VHS Play, where we will be playing Dark Souls and recording it all on VHS. If you're new around here, that's what I do. Just exactly that description. We are going to be playing an older game, which Dark Souls counts. We'll get into that. And I am recording it onto a physical VHS, and then I will be turning that into a whole, video and doing fun things with it. So, yeah. There's a lot to cover. I'm going to try to stay focused on one topic at a time. So, let's start with making a new character. Alright, so, I've got a character in mind. We'll call her Rosaria. She'll be a wonder. We're starting with the pendant for reasons. Average build. We'll start as a store noble. So, oh geez, this text is so small and so hard to read. Also, this game forces a letterboxing on a 4:3 ratio screen, so that makes everything even extra smaller, and it makes it makes it very awkward in terms of Let's Play type things, because my screen is at 4:3, the recorded footage will be at 4:3, but the game is letterboxed, so let's customize a little bit just to get her to be a little bit more unique. Sure, I guess. That'll do. It's a face. So, Rosaria. Rosaria is born of an Astoran royalty. She is disgraced, has turned undead. She was disgraced before turning undead because she is resourceful and will do whatever it takes to win, whether or not that impedes upon honor and things that royalty would care about. So that's the character we're playing. Let's go ahead and start.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty gods peeled apart their stone skins. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath the Scaleless betrayed his aim, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers. And man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side. Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
There is way too much to cover in starting a Let's Play. So, alright. Let's start with just... This is not going to be a lore-focused playthrough, but I am going to like talk to people and let their lines play out, and I'm going to let the cutscene stuff play out. We'll come back to that cutscene in a moment. I do want to talk about tutorialized stuff here. Of, hey, at the end of this cutscene, this corpse drops in, it's glowing, it's got that thing. If we come over here to the door and try to open it, we can't, because they want to make sure before you leave this room you understand the key interaction of press A to interact with stuff. Now we have a key, and now we can leave. But we've learned the primary lesson, which is press A to interact with things when they, say to. Which lets us figure out, oh hey, we can use the right stick to control our camera. We can use that button that is very tiny and I can't read it from here. Oh man, this text is so small. Anyway, I really like this in terms of tutorial. They tell you how to attack. They give you these completely just safe to attack enemies, so that you can just figure out the controls of the game. And it does it in a really, really simple way. And then they also like put this demon over here to give you this loud booming sound throughout and make this place just kind of creepy. Anyway, so that covers, hey, some of the cool tutorial things. We'll come back to more of those as we go on. We also need to come back to, hey, Dark Souls is actually pretty old. But real quick, just to kind of give you an idea of what this playthrough is going to be, this is going to be a very nostalgia-focused playthrough. Why am I starting as a Wanderer? Why am I taking the pendant? I am going to be trying to mirror my original playthrough of Dark Souls. However, not entirely. I am going to be doing something I haven't done before, and that is, I've never played around with Artorias' greatsword, like the true version that scales on like strength, dexterity, intelligence, and faith. We'll come back to that in a second. More tutorial. I love that moment. That moment was just so perfect until I didn't make my roll. I love that in the game of just like they've been teaching you to read all of the soapstone messages left by developers, and they give you like just enough time. It's perfect timing. It's just like you walk in there, you read the thing, and it's just like, get away. Wait, what? Bam! It's a very good moment. I love it. Anyway, this playthrough going to be doing that pretty Jack of all trades sort of build. Oh boy, this is fiddly on a 360 controller. I haven't played on 360 for a long time. But yeah, that's the end goal. We'll also be using a bunch of different weapons along the way. Like I've kind of never. It's real easy to get kind of pinholed into like one weapon in Dark Souls. Like you can do all of the spreading out and like trying all these different weapons, but it's real easy not to. And there's our shiny boy, our poor shiny lad. Okay. Again, there's just so much to cover in the start here. But yeah, that's the way this build is going to go. We're going to use a bunch of, like... It seems From Software, like, kind of left you a lot of tools to use along the way to, like, help you get unstuck. So I'm going to use a bunch of different weapons that I've never really messed around with, because they seem to be, like, on the critical path as, like, hey, if you're struggling here, use this.
Oh, you're no hollow. Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I, we're both undead. Hear me out, will you? Regrettably, I have failed in my mission, but perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family: thou who art undead art chosen, and thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite. Oh, and this. Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
I love that soapstone doesn't show up until after you get the item. So it's nice. It's real neat. Oh, okay. A lot to cover. But yeah, in terms of a tutorial, this is just this is a very solid tutorial. Like it still has all the trappings of Welcome to Tutorial Island, but like it makes it feel I hate to use the term organic. It makes it feel like you're discovering things on your own. Alright, so we do need to cover, like, hey, what's my history with Dark Souls? And there's a lot to cover with that. But the very short version is, I've played Dark Souls a lot. I'm pretty decent at it. Yep. That's the wrong button. There we go. Again, haven't played it on 360 in forever. Originally bought it on the 360. Originally played it all on offline. And I still feel like that is kind of the best way to experience Dark Souls, just because there's so much that, like, the soapstone messages left by other players just can kind of ruin surprises. And I mean, case in point, like, there's a few areas that we're not going to go to in this playthrough, because in mirroring my original playthrough, I played Dark Souls very completely blind. Like, I went full media blackout on it. It was basically like, here's the embarrassing part. I heard about Demon Souls via the blog on Control-Alt-Delete. Good old Tim Buckley. He wrote pretty extensively about, hey, I'm playing Demon Souls and it's basically the coolest thing ever, but it's only on PS3. And then when I heard about Dark Souls coming out, it's like, ooh, hey, I have a 360. I can play this super cool sounding game now. Oh, man. And I forgot where I'm going with that, so let's just see a crow while I gather my thoughts.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall visit. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
So, yeah. Heard about Dark Souls, or like learned about Demon Souls from that webcomic Control-Delete. That good old meme one. And it sounded like the coolest thing. And it was like, oh wait, From Software, I know them. They make Armored Core, and they made that Kingshield game that I really like that nobody seems to have heard of. And like, I remember seeing like the TV ads with Bartholomew by the Silent Comedy. Like, that was a real good ad. Like, it was a great song pick. They kind of plucked out like all of the little cinematic bits of Dark Souls. It was just like, hey, here's all the bosses, or at least here's a good chunk of bosses, and just they made this game look so wicked cool. And surprise, surprise, I think it's pretty cool. And yeah, like, I went full media blackout, so much so that I forgot the release date and never got around to pre-ordering it. So I had to go around on launch day trying to find a copy at like every GameStop, Target, just, you know, everywhere. And it was just like, oh no. And I'm still kind of mad at myself, because it would have been really nice to have actually gotten that like soundtrack CD. Oh. But moving on, Dark Souls is old. We need to cover that a little bit. How old is Dark Souls? Like, it released in 2011. I heard, you know, I learned about it from Control-Alt-Delete. Hey, remember webcomics? Those are still around, I think. But man, remember when they were like the hot thing? But yeah, Dark Souls is old enough that this game came with a manual. It's not a very good manual. It's definitely like that 360 era manual where it's just like the bare minimum, but it does actually explain a few of the like more obscure mechanics, or at least mentions them, of just like, hey, vagrants. Vagrants can appear if you drop like a key item or like certain things, and or if, like a ton of souls, which that's super cool. Would have like that's in the manual. This game had one. Yeah, it came out in 2011, like right before Skyward Sword and like right before Skyrim, and it was so different from like every action game of the time. And this is where we're changing this conversation into Dark Souls. Like we do need to also cover the point that Dark Souls is hard, and a lot of that, like a lot of why people have stopped agreeing with that, or like started, not started saying instead, oh, Dark Souls is hard but fair, or whatever. Just like, I want to make it clear, and I want to belabor the point that Dark Souls is a hard game. It played so differently from anything else that came out at the time. And like, I'm kind of fighting skeletons to prove the point here, and they might prove the point really well if they go ahead and kill me. But like, these are, there we go, perfect. Thank you, skeleton. You have tried to prove my point. Like, you come out here, and it's just like, you're just outside the starting zone, and there's these two skeletons, and they are dangerous as heck. They, like, I think they have taken more hits than that boss just did. There we go. There's the death. They had me pushed against the edge. Bad footing. There's the question of death counter. Will we do one? You'll know already. But yeah, this Dark Souls is a hard game. I want to make that clear. It was different from everything at the time. There was a huge learning curve of, like, not just mashing buttons, and, like, instead of all of the 3D action games of the time where you could mash buttons and, like, what is that game called? Devil May Cry and your God of War. Like, there's more finesse than just mash the buttons, but, like, if I reduce it down to mash the buttons, like, that seems fair. It's reductive, but it is like, there's so much more lenience for mashing the buttons in that game, or in those games. And Dark Souls has like this intentionality behind like every button press, and like that was just a huge learning curve. On top of, this game is legitimately hard. Like, those skeletons, again, taking more hits than the boss I just fought. They can parry, and they can riposte, and like that happened on my first time playing Dark Souls. Is like, was just kind of wandering around, and like ran out to see skeletons. I'd played Kingsfield before, so it's like, oh, this is a From Software game. They have skeletons. These are going to be dangerous. Oh no. And realizing what I'd gotten myself into. Did I grab the item up there? I always forget that one. But yeah, like, okay, I did grab it. Hello, Crow. But yeah, like, there's not a lot of room for failure in Dark Souls. Like, they will kill you whenever you let your guard down, and that's kind of the hallmark of like a difficult game. And I just want to make it clear, and I want to put that pin that Dark Souls is in fact a difficult game.
I am Petrus of Thoroland. Have you business with us? If not, I'd prefer to keep a distance, if possible. Hello there. I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance, but I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will. Here, take this as a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you. Oh my, you again. Oh, I know. How about this? I have to await my companions here anyway. So what if I were to teach you some miracles? Would that please you? Very well. Then first, a covenant with the gods. Now let me share my miracles. Only their ultimate effectiveness will be determined by your efforts and your faith.
Dark Souls is also just so obtuse in everything. Like, everything that just happened there, I'm just like, oh, first a covenant, wait, what? Okay, a covenant with the gods, alright, oh, there was, like, actually, like, a shiny thing that just happened. I just actually chose something through that little bit of dialogue there. And, oh boy, like, Dark Souls, thinking about it, and you know those math problems, or like the math, like, I don't know if you've ever read like a college level math book, but like they love to do the phrase of just like, they start explaining something and it's just like, and then the rest of this is left up to the reader as an exercise. That is kind of what Dark Souls does, of just like, Dark Souls is a game where figuring it out is just left as an exercise to the player.
My companions are Milady and her young knights. She is young, but burdened by an undead mission. We are her defenses, to keep her from harm. An undead mission? Regrettably, I cannot share that with you. But you are my pupil. Perhaps if you show your faith.
Now, I don't remember if I did this in my first run or not. I feel like I had leveled up and then came over here, and then he offered me this with a higher price tag, and I didn't have the souls for it. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead.
Very well. I can surely tell you, of all people, undead clerics are given a mission to seek kindling. Kindling is the art of feeding bonfires with humanity. Through kindling, we shall one day be granted magnificent powers. Very well. I can
All right.
Come again. The effectiveness of the teachings depend upon your faith.
So, a lot just happened with Petrus there, and again, like, going back to like the whole Dark Souls is hard thing, like, it was not a common thing for NPCs to have like multiple lines of dialogue if you keep talking to them. Again, I had played Kingsfield before this, so I kind of like knew a bit more of what to expect going in. But like outside of Kingsfield, there was like so little else that did that, where if you talk to a random NPC, they would have more than a single like "Welcome to Canaria" sort of line.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first. But there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the undead church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happens. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead?
And if you didn't know about this, talking to NPCs multiple times, like, at the very least, you have the understanding of, okay, there's actually 2 bells of awakening. Like, I was originally on a quest to ring 1. I guess I need to ring 2. 1 is up in Undead Church. 1 is down in Blight Town. That sure is a weird name, Blight Town. And it sticks in your head a little bit, but, like, he doesn't tell you where to go. And you have your 3 options of, like, well, I guess I could go up that hill, or I could go fight those skeletons. And if you're observant, and notice, oh wait, there's some stairs here, and you go all the way down, then you find the elevator that takes you down to New Londo Ruins, and then you run into ghosts and you have a bad time.
Ah, your face. You're practically hollow. But who knows? Going hollow could solve quite a bit.
And that line is just like, wait, what? What do you mean I'm going hollow? Oh, I guess my face is pretty messed up.
What? Restoring your humanity? Well, there are a few ways to go about it. Collect it bit by bit from corpses. Or you can butter up a cleric and get yourself summoned. And the quickest way, although I'd never do it, is to kill a healthy undead and pillage its humanity. Coveting thy neighbor is only human, after all.
And again, Dark Souls being obtuse, he just explained a good chunk of game mechanics there, just in world terms. Like, he told you, hey, if you want to have humanity to become human again, you'll get some if you kill just enough enemies in a zone, or if you get summoned to do co-op, or if you invade using PvP. He didn't say those exact terms, but like, he just told you all of that.
What are you looking at? Don't try anything clever. You might regret it.
And, I mean, that's a good warning. At least he is kind of a rough fight if you're just starting out.
What? You want to hear more? Oh, that's all we need. Another inquisitive soul. Well, listen carefully then. One of the bells is up above in the undead church, but the lift is broken. You'll have to climb the stairs up the ruins and access the undead burg through the waterway. The other bell is back down below the undead burg, within the plague-infested Blight Town. But I'd die again before I step foot in that cesspool.
So, there is your actual, like, which of these three ways should I go information. Is, no, go up there, go up to the aqueduct. My first time playing through, when he said the lift is broken, I talked to him first and then went down these stairs and saw the lift down below, and it's like, oh, he said the lift is broken. Like, I think I tried there's the lever next to the elevator. I'm not going to bother walking down there. And, like, I tried that and it says device is inoperable. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess that means that's what he meant when he said the lift was broken, is this lift over here. Did not realize there was the other lift that comes down from the undead church.
Bloody hell, what is it now? You ask too many questions.
Alright.
What now? I'm not up for chatting. Leave me alone.
So we've exhausted all of his dialogue. Let's go ahead, get that level up. I'm going to do like a wide build, so that's going to be strength, dexterity, intelligence, and faith to get those up so that we can use Artorias' sword to some actual effect. We need, I think, 20 of each to even use that sword. But for starters, let's get some endurance. More things are just obtuse. Like, you sit down at this bonfire, you get 10 Estus flasks. There's these numbers on the screen. Like, at this point, you probably have put together, like, okay, souls in the bottom right. I use those to level up and also buy things. That one on the top left, who knows? If you read the manual, it tells you that's your humanity count, actually. And then resting at a bonfire is like, okay, this one gives me 10 Estus flask uses. That's cool. I guess maybe because I'm not on Tutorial Island anymore. Next bonfire, why do I only get 5? Like, there's so much that just is not explained about this game, and it's left, again, as... left to the reader as an exercise. And... to some degree, that's also just like... Oof, that was poor timing. Also, parry timing is a whole sort of thing that you need to figure out and learn. And it takes time and it takes practice, and it's a dangerous sort of thing to learn. Because if you mess up parry timing, then you take, like, extra damage. No, please don't. Okay, I've been playing some Bloodborne on the side. I keep pressing whatever would be in triangles place Y to heal, and that is just incorrect. Alright, let's just unlock. And then, of course, you have all the fun things about, like, the Dark Souls camera is the true final boss. It's like the two things that will kill you more often than anything not in Dark Souls. The camera and also gravity. I do remember my first playthrough, I did have, like, a lot of struggles with the camera out here. Just, like, going up that staircase and, like, having it occasionally just suddenly whirl around. Where I was locked on to, like, one dude, I kill him, the camera suddenly whirls all the way around, and now when I press right, instead of moving, like, this direction, it moves me straight off the cliff. That definitely happened to me at least once on my first playthrough. Alright, so we've covered the character we're playing, we've covered the build that we'll be doing. We've covered kind of the flavor of this Let's Play of, like, this is going to be a nostalgia Let's Play. It's going to be emulating my first playthrough, and there's just going to be a few places that we just don't go to because of that. Since I played the game blind entirely offline, like, it was a grand old time in exploration and discovery. But there are a couple places that I just didn't know about. There's a couple, like, there's a bonfire, at least one, that I just missed because I didn't realize there was an illusory wall. And those sorts of things just happened because I didn't have, like, I didn't pay for Xbox Live at the time. And it was all, like, this was just a great offline experience. Speaking of cool things, hey, there's a dragon. And, like, having that show up so early on of just, like... Again, Dark Souls is hard. The first time, it took so long to get up to here, and you go through this white gate, and it's just like, oh, like, the last time I went through one of these, it was a boss. Oh no, okay, everything seems fine. You get up the stairs, and then a dragon comes out and just spooks you real good. It's a nice touch. He is apparently not dead. Oh, right. I guess we should go through my Dark Souls credentials of, like, how dare I be a person who has opinions about Dark Souls and is playing it on a public platform on the internet. So, yeah, like I mentioned, I did grab Dark Souls launch day. I have bought it way too many times. I have played it way too many times. I've gone down the lore pits on YouTube and all of that stuff. But there's definitely still things that I haven't done yet. And that's kind of the beauty of Dark Souls. That's why I keep coming back to it. It's just like, I think having played it entirely offline, my first time around, and, like, I don't know, I know that the Dark Souls community has, like, completely delved every depth of this game. Come on, my dude. Okay. Come on. I'm right here. Hit me. Thank you. Since I'm using Scimitar, I don't have a kick, and that is kind of frustrating when it comes to shields. But yeah, like, I know everybody has just, like, torn this game to every little bit of a shred that it could have, trying to find secret data and everything. And I know, like, we've got to have found like every secret by now because it's been, 9 years as of like this October. But it still feels like there's secrets in this game. Like there's still things that I just kind of stumble across or like have forgotten about and re-stumble across, and it's just like, wait, this is weird and spooky, or like, how have I never seen this? How have I never noticed this? Oh hey, I've never played around with this weapon. That's what keeps bringing me back to Dark Souls.
Well now, you seem to have your wits about you, hmm? Then you are a welcome customer. I trade for souls. Everything's for sale. Things are getting treacherous in these parts. A horrible goat demon has moved in below. And up above, there's that humongous drake and a bull demon too. If you stick around this place, it might end up being your grave. Here, I'm not here to chit-chat. We talk business or we talk nothing at all. Thank you kindly.
But yeah, like, again, with Dark Souls being hard, like, my recording timer is at like 42 minutes, and that includes like some setup stuff, some timing things, and like loading up the game. And we're already pretty much through to this first bonfire. Oh, come on, my dudes. That jump attack on the scimitar always feels like it's just got no range. Like, yeah, it just really does not feel like there's any range on the sword whatsoever. But yeah, like, my recording timer is at 42 minutes, and we're already almost done with, what am I doing? There's more items to get. We're already almost done with the Undead Burg, like, first chunk. And, like, getting to this first bonfire, like, I think it, I'm fairly certain it took multiple hours to get there. Of just, like, it took so long to even get up to the aqueduct the first time. Like, it was a long process of learning the game, trying to figure out how everything controls, struggling with the camera and gravity. Oh hey, I also never went down there. There was just so much to get through, to get to that first point. And again, it took probably multiple hours to get there. And now it's old hat. It takes like very little time, and it's only taking this long because I'm talking, I'm distracted, I'm messing around with skeletons over in the graveyard. Like, if I was just playing Dark Souls and not commentating and waxing nostalgic and all of that, then, it would take me like maybe 10 minutes to get there, and like, things could have gone even faster if I had taken the black fire bombs. I could have killed that tutorial boss super fast. And like, so much of this game is just about knowledge and learning what to do. But hey, you can see the torch from here. Speaking of things you can see from here, here's the Capra Demon boss arena. It's right down there. But yeah, like, it took so long to get here the first time. and then like you feel like you've gone so far away from home, and then it turns out you've hardly gone anywhere. And that is another thing that I don't know, I really like Dark Souls. That's really what it comes down to. Dark Souls is a really good game. It's a comfort food game for me. But that seems like more of a discussion for next time. To note on stats real quick, I'm trying to get my endurance up to the point where I have 100 stamina. I just like to have that nice round 100 stamina. Oh man, but I guess yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it here. Next time when we come back, we'll talk more about like Dark Souls as a comfort food sort of game. Oh man, there is so much I want to say about this game, and like I don't know. I'm sure I'll run out of things to ramble about at some point, but yeah, it's been a fun little nostalgia trip. We're plan is to go through the whole thing, so well, not the whole thing. There are a few, again, there's a few things that we're not going to hit just because I didn't hit them in my first playthrough, and that's what this is going to be about, is kind of waxing nostalgic and going back through my first playthrough. So yeah, that's that. So thank you very much for watching. I've been Bryce. This has been VHS Play, and have yourself a lovely evening.